The only difference between a rich person and a poor person is how they use their time. Robert Kiyosaki is best known for his highly popular book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but he is also an investor and the founder of several businesses. His estimated net worth is approximately $80 million, and his teachings have already helped millions of people improve their financial literacy. His influence in this field has been ongoing for many years, impacting millions of people worldwide. Even if you are starting from scratch, you can learn how to handle money properly and build wealth through his books and services. While much of Kiyosaki's advice focuses on financial literacy and wealth building, there are universal insights that can benefit anyone, whether you are an entrepreneur, employee, investor, or recent graduate. Focus on increasing your income and efforts. One of the main reasons for financial struggles is that most people only focus on their expenses. The majority of people constantly look for ways to save money but are not interested in earning more. While saving is definitely a good idea, only increasing your income is not enough in the long run. Wealthy people do not just save money. They invest wisely, create multiple income streams, and let their money work for them. Most people go to a distant supermarket to save a few dollars compared to the nearby grocery store, but they are not willing to spend a few hours learning how to increase their income. Saving is easier than creating new income sources, and most people choose comfort over the effort required to build wealth. Saving money may be more comfortable than seeking additional income streams. However, making your money work for you will not only help you save, but also build significant wealth. Increasing your income is more important than cutting your expenses. Putting in more effort is more important than giving up on your dreams. Instead of reducing your expenses, consider whether you can create additional income sources. Perhaps you have some time in the evenings or on weekends to help a friend with their business, or maybe you have some skills and knowledge that you can teach others and get paid for. Alternatively, you can complete a few courses on high-paying skills like content writing or copywriting and offer these services as a freelancer. If you are open to change and ready to work, new money-making opportunities will come your way, and you will just need to say yes to seize them. Work for knowledge, not for money. Don't be addicted to money. Work to learn. Don't work for money. Work for knowledge. Young people in particular often fall into the cycle of working for money and get trapped in it. They graduate, think they know everything, and seek high-paying jobs. They eventually find these jobs, but soon realize that money is not as satisfying as they thought. Not only Robert Kiyosaki, but also many of the most successful entrepreneurs of our time have shared that working for free at the beginning of their careers to gain experience and knowledge was one of the most valuable things they did. Knowledge, especially applied knowledge, is one of the most powerful resources of our time and is essential for building wealth and living a happy life. If you focus too much on making money, you are likely to miss out on great opportunities because you won't recognize them. Money always follows knowledge and smart decisions. The opposite is rarely true. To maximize your chances of financial success, take some time to learn from people who are ahead of you. Support them, even if it's voluntarily, so they have a good reason to support you later. There is nothing more valuable than gaining insights into the mind of someone who is living the life you desire. Pick up the phone, call people, and always look for opportunities to support others. When you have enough knowledge and experience, building your business, career, and sustainable wealth will be much easier than learning life's hard lessons on your own. Follow one course until successful. According to Kiyosaki, FOCUS is an acronym for Follow One Course Until Successful. Kiyosaki particularly encourages young people to focus on one thing at a time and avoid working on too many projects simultaneously. In our society, shiny object syndrome is one of the main reasons why so many people are dissatisfied. They constantly feel challenged and look for new opportunities because they believe there are always better ones elsewhere. As a result, they lose interest each time. Kiyosaki made this mistake repeatedly when he first started investing, but he eventually understood the basic rules and persisted until he succeeded. When he felt confident in his investment skills, he turned to entrepreneurship and tried different business models until he found a promising one. However, he focused on only one thing until it worked. Great things and valuable results rarely come from the first attempt. Most people give up too early and, as a result, never achieve significant success. Sometimes the key to success is to commit to one thing and keep going instead of embracing new ideas every few months. Don't be afraid of losses. In school, we were taught to avoid mistakes. Even if we ignored the correct answers, making mistakes was forbidden. According to Kiyosaki, one of the main reasons most people fail in life and business is their fear of failure. While avoiding mistakes is crucial in school, real life is different. You can't learn anything new without making them. Most successful entrepreneurs have made mistakes and experienced various failures before they finally succeeded. In the real world, the smartest people are people who make mistakes and learn. In school, the smartest people don't make mistakes. When I started my first job at 19 while still in school, I realized how different real life was from what I had learned in 13 years of education. Despite studying business, I had no idea about the reality of running a business, and I spent most of my time making mistakes and learning from them. If you are afraid of losing, it will be hard to win. However, if you don't worry about failure and keep making smart decisions, you won't have much to lose. Find a game you can win. Many people fail in their careers and personal lives because they focus on the wrong activities and goals. While I mentioned sticking with it until you make it, the truth is that you need to focus on what aligns with your strengths and talents. Trying to succeed in something you don't like and are not good at is much harder than playing a game where you can use your strengths. There is no point in trying to succeed in areas outside your talent. Of course, you can learn anything, but focusing on your weaknesses takes much more time and energy than investing in your strengths. Find the game where you can win and then commit your life to playing it. And play to win. It took me more than 2 years and many failures to find the game I could win in the business world. But once I knew what to do, I realized I was progressing quickly. Interestingly, when I openly shared the challenges and struggles I faced, I heard many similar stories from fellow entrepreneurs. Sometimes you need to make sacrifices to focus on something that not only promises a future but also excites you. Avoid having unrealistic expectations. Doing something you are good at is not only easier, but also more enjoyable. Don't rely solely on formal education. Even though I studied business in college, I had no idea how to start and run a business until I actually succeeded. The trouble with school is they give you the answer, then they give you the exam. That's not life. Real life, especially in business, is very different from what we learn in schools and universities. Relying on formal education can get you a job, but if you want to build wealth and successful businesses, you need to rely on self-education. While schools teach you to avoid failure, most big companies and factories were built after countless mistakes. A few years ago, my dear friend Dejan Stojanovic, who calls himself a failure enthusiast, created a community that encourages people to persevere instead of fearing mistakes. He brought all these people together and broke the silence around discussing failures. Instead, he encouraged people from various backgrounds to share their messed up situations so that the community could learn from each other. Now he has started the Failure Talks, a series of interviews with successful entrepreneurs and leaders who discuss not only their successes, but also the challenges and failures they faced in business. When you look closer, you will see that successful entrepreneurs do not rely heavily on college education. But the good news is that more information is at our fingertips than ever before. Moreover, it is simple and free to learn from various sources. Be mindful of how you use your time. Wealthy people and successful entrepreneurs know that time is one of the most valuable resources. They invest money to solve problems instead of wasting time. However, the majority does the opposite. Most people spend hours on minor issues because it is cheaper than getting professional support, which drains their energy. The only difference between a rich person and a poor person is how they use their time. If you spend your time on unproductive activities, you will find yourself in unproductive situations. However, if you prioritize your time and energy, you will only engage in meaningful and effective activities. This will help you reach your goals much faster. Never rely solely on hope. According to Robert Kiyosaki, hope drains energy, while action generates energy. Most people spend their time dreaming and hoping for what they want instead of taking action to make it happen. They have ideas, hopes, and dreams, but no action plans. Without implementation, even the best idea is worthless. Constantly dreaming about something and not achieving it drains your motivation and energy. Taking bold, decisive steps will help you achieve your goals. Instead of constantly dreaming, do this. Know where you are, know where you want to go, and have a plan to get there. The best knowledge comes from personal experience. According to Kiyosaki, personal experience is the best investment you can make. He believes that the real lessons are learned from our own mistakes. He openly shares how he made wrong decisions, got into debt, and faced criticism for his actions. Every time I did an investment, be it real estate or business, I got smarter because experience makes you smarter. Of course, it doesn't make sense to make wrong decisions just to confirm they are wrong. Seeking advice from others to avoid obvious mistakes is definitely a good idea. However, if you are unsure whether a decision is right or wrong, experiencing it yourself will teach you lessons that cannot be learned otherwise. By investing in your experiences and knowledge, you will learn to evaluate both risks and opportunities. You will also learn to make better decisions in the future. The lessons we can learn from Robert Kiyosaki are not complicated. You have probably heard most of his insights and lessons at various times, but as always, the real question is whether we apply them. Without application and action, even the most invaluable advice is meaningless. However, if you apply one piece of advice at a time, you will notice how these small steps accumulate and lead to significant changes in your life, work, and bank account.